Do me for a hold this L.
Hold this L.
Hold this L.
Welcome to another episode of Hold This L, our last episode for the season. What's going on, cuz? How you doing, man?
Oh, what's up, big bro? Man, doing good, doing good. Ready to jump into this little topic. You know, it's always bittersweet when we have to go for the season ending, but hey, we'll be popping back off soon. So I'm excited. I'm excited to talk, see what we got in store today.
Yeah. Well, all we got in store today is to talk about this NBA Finals. The Bucks. Congratulations to the Milwaukee Bucks for winning the first place, winning the championship. Congratulations to Giannis, Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, PJ Tucker. I feel happier for PJ Tucker than anybody. That boy just been in the league, moving around, playing his role, and he finally got him a ring. But congratulations to them boys. All in all, we're gonna evaluate. We're gonna talk about the playoffs as a whole, and we're gonna talk about the Bucks, and we're gonna talk about Giannis. A lot of people saying that he's the best player in the league now. I just want to talk about that for at some point before we leave, because I just got some strong feelings on that. But anyways, let's talk about the Bucks, man. Let's talk about the Suns. So what's your analyzations? what did you think about
Analyzations?
Exactly. That's why I laughed when I said it. What do you think about the just the overall playoff series?
I mean, well, if I got one thing I can say about what I thought, nobody thought what happened was gonna happen. I think, including myself. I don't think nobody who can sit here and look me in the face and say, "Man, I had the Bucks in 6," especially after that 2-0 series lead the Suns took. They lied, in my opinion. But I know you got probably some Bucks fans that believe that, but it wasn't many other people. And I really, man, I went back and forth on trying to decide, did the Bucks win it or did the Suns lose it? And I'm leaning towards I'm on the side of the fence of the Suns lost it. As great as Giannis played, we still I saw them close out the Phoenix Suns with Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton going like, I think it was like 3 or 4, 27. You just can't let that happen. Yeah. I mean, I know Giannis put up 50, but nobody else did anything. I mean, they beat you 104-98. You didn't even crack 100. Could we say, oh man, that's Milwaukee's defense? They hadn't done it until Game 6. At the most pivotal time, you let them keep you under 100 points. Okay. So, I mean, in my opinion, big ups to Giannis, man. That boy, he played out of his mind, especially knowing he had came from a hyperextended knee. He probably wasn't even 100%. The Suns disappointed me, man. The Suns really disappointed me. I feel bad for Chris Paul. I really wanted Chris Paul to win his first ring. But they just didn't show up when they needed to show up. And I honestly don't believe I can sit here and say, how I've been on Chris Paul all year. They didn't deserve to win. The way they came out, they blew two games where Devin Booker went bonkers, went off. First player in NBA history to have back-to-back 40-point games in the playoffs and lose both of them. So, you just don't see that too often. And then, of course, in the closeout game, Chris Paul came to play, but of course, Devin Booker couldn't hit the backside of a barnyard door. So, they just didn't come ready to play when they needed to play, and I really don't believe they deserve to win. Milwaukee took it from them.
Boy said the backside of a barnyard door.
Yeah, I made that one just kind of.
I ain't heard that one.
Yeah, I made that one up. I can't. It just what came to my head. I know they got a saying. I just couldn't remember exactly.
That may be the saying. It may be the saying. I just hadn't heard it before. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you didn't make it up. Maybe you heard it and you know it. You just don't know where. But I have to agree with you when you say the Suns lost it more than the Bucks won it overall. Right. The Bucks, in my opinion, should have won, because I look at what they have on their team and the talent, and I feel like they should have won. I still feel like they underachieved, even though they won, simply because they had help with people getting hurt. But you give the Bucks the credit for doing what they should have done. We all know that if one of those players on the Nets wouldn't have got hurt, Harden or Kyrie, they wasn't going to win. We know that. I strongly believe that if the 76ers wouldn't have had the mental breakdown with Ben Simmons, they wouldn't have got past them. You know, of course, we know the Suns had the same issues. You know, with getting as far as they got with injuries to Lakers, Denver Nuggets, which was less of an issue in my opinion because they was missing Jamal Murray and he was already like gone and but still he wasn't there. And then of course more with the Clippers with no Kawhi. But they made it. You give them the props for winning. Um, you absolutely right. It's like they couldn't. The Suns didn't play collective ball when they needed to. The best players, you know, Paul and Booker. Paul would have a great game. Booker would play like shit. Booker would have a great game. Paul would play okay. You know, and they needed to be on fire.
Right.
Both of them needed to be 1A and 1B. You know, Chris Paul needed to be able to do his thing at the highest level. Booker needed to be able to do his thing at the highest level. And even if you add Aiton in there, I feel like Aiton played pretty consistent on the offensive end, giving decent points and big boards. Defensively is where he struggled, though. Defensively, where he struggled. Um, but you know, I give the Bucks props. Drew Holiday came through with one of those games you was talking about. You know, you was waiting on him to have one of them Drew Holiday games, and I think he did it in Game 5.
He did.
And he had like 20 something, close to 30 something points. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but it's pretty high in points. He pretty much was the reason why they won. They won that game in Phoenix, and that was a turning point for them to win that game in Phoenix. Um, so you know, congratulations to the Bucks. You know, we had a very unexpected year. I mean, when we had the bubble year, that was definitely different. But even though this year has been a regular, more of a regular season, it's still a different year. You know, we still haven't had that normal um off season, the normal 72 game season, the normal season where we have fans. We still have a lot of games with people missing because of COVID. Um, you know, who knows how things would have been if Chris Paul never got COVID. Maybe he would have stayed on fire because he was pretty damn hot before he went out with COVID. And we all know that people who had COVID and come back, they play. It takes them a while to get it back because of how they're feeling or whatever. So, all excuses aside, though, again, congratulations, Bucks. Now, I want to get to this thing about Giannis being the best player in the world, and it's really a bigger story than Giannis being the best player in the world. It's really more about when somebody wins a championship, why do we have to have the need to say that the best player on that team is not the best player in the world? Why is that a thing? It's a team sport. So a lot of what the other people do on the team has to do with why they win. But that shouldn't change what our eyes tell us when we look at the basketball players. Clearly to me, LeBron is the best player in the world. I will listen to the argument between LeBron and KD. But I'm not going to sit here and concede when people say Giannis is the best player in the world simply because they won the championship in a playoff ridden season where we clearly know that they probably wouldn't have won. It's almost the same thing when people were saying Kawhi is the best player in the world. Well, we know they would have got their ass whooped if Durant didn't get hurt and Klay Thompson didn't get hurt. They wouldn't have won if Klay Thompson didn't get hurt. Like, what the hell is this about where people have to say this person is the best player in the world because they won a championship? This is not golf. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
but
This is not tennis. This
man,
is a team sport.
people are creatures of the moment. Victim to the moment, man. I mean, and he put up one of the best performances in NBA history in a closeout game, and people just roll with it.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot that has to lot that it that's going on with that. And look, I feel you with Kawhi, but you can at least halfway kind of make an argument with Giannis. Halfway, not a whole lot, but you can still make an argument about him. I mean, with his record, his accolades, at his age, the stuff he's done, you can make that argument, in my opinion, that he everybody wants to know who's going to be the next best thing, who's going to be the next goat. Everybody knows LeBron's on.
Keyword next.
Yeah, but everybody knows LeBron is at the downside, and they're
Yeah.
looking for that person that's going to take over the mantle from him. They trying to give it to somebody, and it's a matter of who's going to take it. And I think if we're going to talk about a candidate, I think he's the best candidate to take it. Over the next few years, that's all people going to talk about is KD and Giannis, um, being the best players. Because LeBron, we all know, yeah, he is the best player, but he gonna take a step back, and I think it's only smart for him to do so, just to kind of, I think, take a look, make his career last a little bit longer. I think that's kind of in the plans for him. But LeBron's gonna be LeBron. We know what he brings to the table. But
all that you said is true. If I was talking about who's going to be the next best player, I'm talking about right now. Right now, Giannis is still not the best player in the league. His game is still limited. Like,
yeah,
I mean, I don't. Top five, definitely. I would argue if we want to sit up here and talk about individual players, let's take away stuff like injuries and stuff. You rather have a healthy AD or a healthy Giannis?
that's a tough one.
Okay. See, that's my point. Like, it's not that it's a no-brainer, but it's a tough one. So when we talk about the best player in the world, this is not just can't be just because you won the championship. There are factors that fit into why you win a championship. There are things that happen that go into it. It's not just because you have a great player on your team and then now this person is the reason why they may be the reason why y'all won, but he's the best player in the world. You put him anywhere. No, there's a reason why somebody is called the best player in the world. There's a reason why Tom Brady is considered the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? It's like Aaron Rodgers, I believe, probably has more talent than Tom Brady. But Tom Brady did his thing. He showed us why he should be the person put in that position. You know what I'm saying? You can have your opinions about players that you like and stuff, but when it comes down to culture changes, when it comes down to people who have skills and they show you those skills, when it comes down to like knowing a person hasn't fallen off just because their team didn't win the championship does not mean you lose the mantle. That's ridiculous to me. But it is what it is.
No, but hey, the one last thing I'm gonna say though, and the reason that this argument is I think even valid for Giannis, bro. I know what you're saying, and it's a team game, but dude went bonkers in the finals. I mean, 33,
Dude, I'm not saying nothing about his finals play.
No,
I'm not saying nothing about his numbers in finals play.
But if you look at his
I'm
numbers,
talking about
that's why people are making the argument. I mean, them are crazy.
What do you think would have happened? What do you think would have happened if Devin Booker would have had 40-point games all the way through and they would have won? Do you think people would say Devin Booker was the best player in the world right now?
No.
You don't think that? But I guarantee you that would have been a conversation. I guarantee you people say, is he the best player in the world? Yes, he is, like Kobe. Like, all that would have came back. Now people saying, don't compare him to Kobe. Don't even put his name in the same sentence with Kobe. Kobe would have never played like that or done those things or blah, blah, blah. Kobe played defense. Like, that's all the stuff that came out because he didn't get it done. But if he would have got it done, yes, I guarantee you some people would have been saying, is Devin Booker the best player in the world? Probably wouldn't be as definitive as Giannis because of all the things that Giannis has done, the MVPs, the Defensive Player of the Year. Probably wouldn't have been as definitive, but would it have been brought up? Yes, and simply would have been brought up because he was the best player on the championship team and he went bonkers. Giannis goes bonkers in the regular season. But we know when Giannis has been put up against the real top teams and players, he has fallen short. So when he does it against those teams, that's when I will consider it. Me personally is when I'll start considering him being named as one of the best players. We talked about KD. Why I don't consider him as one of the best players. Your skill set, not one of the best players, the best player. He is definitely one of the best players, but the best players. Your skill set has to go beyond you being able to put the ball in the bucket. It has to go beyond. It has to go. I'm not finished. Bro. It has to go beyond your game play. It has to go beyond that. Just play on the court. There's a lot of people that got play on the court that don't get it done. He got it done, but you still got somebody in the league that gets it done at the highest level that we've ever seen it done. And until that person clearly falls off, we know he's falling off because of what he used to do.
I know you like LeBron. You
know what I'm saying? Now, this ain't about liking LeBron. No, this ain't about liking LeBron. This ain't about liking LeBron.
What did you say? Now, he just won this championship. What did you say? Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday are both number 3 players on the team?
I said they were playing like number 3 players because they were very inconsistent. They would have moments.
And that's what they're considered in your mind. Mm-hmm. He still took them to the championship by himself. In Milwaukee. He's been in Milwaukee, bro. The dude got to get some credit for, bro. He went 33, damn near 15, and 6.
He did that during the regular season. I didn't see nothing different in his game. It was great. No, he did great.
What have we always argued about? Yeah, he does it in the regular season. Are you gonna do it in the? He did it on the biggest.
He did it in the playoffs.
The most.
No, he did it in the playoffs. No.
It mattered the most.
The difference in what they did this year than what they did last year is Chris Middleton stepped up to close in a lot of situations. Giannis could not close last year. He still
closed,
had the big numbers. Go look at his numbers last year in the playoffs. He's come up as a whole in the playoffs, but he didn't close. He closed game 6. Yes, he did. He closed game 6. But who was the closer for those other games? Go ahead, say his name.
Oh, I know Chris Middleton had.
Yes, so that's my point.
Role.
So just
I'm like LeBron's championship against Golden State. Who closed that game? Kyrie Irving.
No. I'm not saying that.
I mean, it happens. It's okay.
But LeBron has closed out games on his own. He's closed out series. But that's not the argument. The argument is not Giannis career versus LeBron career. It is Giannis being named the best player right now. When to me, he's clearly not the best player. Right there and being it. Right there and being it. Right, LeBron to me, it's very clear.
To me, LeBron can't take a team to the championship and win it by himself anymore. He's not that guy anymore.
Who can? Who can take a team to the championship by himself and win it?
Giannis
right now in the league. No, he did not. You know that is not right. He had a lot of help. Chris Middleton saved them in more games at the end than Giannis did.
But everybody already tell me that Chris Middleton is inconsistent, and he's barely even an all-star.
Just because he's inconsistent doesn't mean he didn't show up in that series. In that series, he showed up, and you can't take that away. It could have been you. If you showed up in that series, you're the reason why y'all won many of those games. That's the point. That's it right there. This is not about Chris Middleton in the season. It's about what he did against the Suns.
He was inconsistent against the Suns too. He had some good games, but he had some bad ones too. He was just as inconsistent.
But he was the one that was able to close the game out because Giannis was not doing it. He was the one hitting the shots. He was the one that made that happen. It was him.
It was 4 games. He closed out 2. Drew Holiday closed out 1, and Giannis closed out 1.
So even with that, he had to help. He didn't do it by himself.
Nobody can do it by themselves.
Exactly.
He's doing it with better players than anybody else.
He's doing it with better players than anybody else.
Out of the last 10 championships, who would you say, out of the last 10 championships played, who would you say had the worst supporting cast out of the superstar who won it?
The worst supporting cast?
The worst supporting cast out of a superstar to win a championship in the last 10 championships. Who had the worst supporting cast and won the championship?
What's the last 10 championships? This is 2021.
This is 21. So we go back to 11. Miami.
Was that the one with Dallas won, or was that the one?
No, Dallas won. No, Dallas won in 2011.
Okay, then
Miami won in 2012 and 2013.
Then Dallas. That's why I was trying to figure out what the people, because that's the first one I was thinking about was Dallas, and that's the answer.
And that's the only one. Give me one after that. And I gave you.
To
10
me,
years.
it's close with Toronto. It's close with Toronto.
What?
With Kawhi, it's close with Toronto with Kawhi, because if you look at Kawhi with Pascal Siakam, Kyle Lowry, and Siakam, not the Siakam. I mean, that's not Siakam, but Fred VanVleet, not the Fred VanVleet we have now, where he was then. And you compare them to the Bucks, they're very close. They're very close. So you got 3 teams that have, to me, Dallas is clearly the number 1, but Toronto and Milwaukee, they're very close in their talent level and how their team was spread out. And I will also say they both won the championship in series where there were very serious playoff injuries that helped them along the way. But it is what it is. That's not what I'm arguing. I'm not arguing them winning it. I'm just arguing Giannis being clearly in some people's eyes the number 1 player, and to me, he's not clearly the number 1 player.
No, he's not clearly.
I would say KD. I would say KD. I would pick KD over Giannis. But again, a lot of people look at championships and they put the championships in such highlight and regard that to me it clouds their judgment of, the other factors in the game. But we'll see. We got a lot of basketball left. I would say next year would be probably the most regular year we've had in the last 2 years. As far as COVID stuff, and probably having fans and stuff like that. So we'll definitely see. And I know when he made that comment, I know that some people felt that when he said just the way you're supposed to do it. He stayed with his team. I forgot exactly how he said it, but he basically was saying, he basically, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so when he made that comment about just the way you're supposed to do it, anybody can go form a team, a super team.
Hmm.
You know, it's like, yeah, he I'm pretty sure he some people paid attention to that,
Yeah, but he
and
got
they
a
gonna
lot
be
of
coming
respect for
for
that.
him.
Yeah, they got a lot of respect for that. They was coming. They was gonna be coming for him anyway. But everybody gave him his props for it. Even LeBron himself.
You can
Congratulations,
still,
Giannis.
yeah.
You earned that shit.
Hey,
Like
he
that.
did earn it.
Yeah.
That's not saying you didn't earn it. But when you say stuff like that, you don't think people feel it. Like they not gonna come out and be like, oh, you said nah. But when we get on the court, they gonna be like, they gonna be coming for him. And I guarantee
Yeah.
you, they gonna be coming for him. Not only because of that, but because they the champs and people come for the champs. But they
Yeah.
gonna be
The
coming for
beautiful
him because
thing
they're
about
coming
it,
too.
he built for it. He built for
We'll see.
it.
He built for it. Let's see how good their team is when they get
Yeah,
to the
well,
top
that's
notch
another.
teams.
That's another question.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm
That's
not talking
another
about
question.
Giannis
But
and that part.
Giannis a
I'm talking
monster.
about the Bucks. Yeah, Giannis is a beast. Giannis composure and what he brings to the table. The only thing that I knock about Giannis' game is his ability to shoot, like really get good shots off. You know, he's a very athletic player, and he has such a good skill set with his athleticism, like driving to the basket. He can handle the ball, he can finish at the rim, but his shot selection is poor because he can't shoot, and he keeps shooting that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's why I feel
He gonna
like if he
keep.
was playing
I
against a
think he gonna
better
keep
team,
trying though. He
yeah,
working on it.
yeah,
But hey,
we,
like
we go
he's like
we
like
gonna
he said.
see, we gonna
Hey,
see,
like
we
he
gonna see.
said. Everybody said I couldn't make my free throws. Boy went 17 to 19 in the game six closeout game. When it mattered, he hit
I
him.
mean that. Hey, you know he came up. He stepped up. You know, like I said, I'm one of those people where I don't. I'm very objective. I don't fall victim of the moment, and I recognize everything that happens to get where you are. So when he does that against the greatest teams, the greatest players, I'll be more impressed. Personally, I'll be more impressed. I didn't say I wasn't impressed. I said I'll be more impressed. So we'll see in the years to come how that folds, how that unfolds. I'm very hard to please, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. It don't take I'm not one of those people where you can do a little something, be like, that was like this dude here. Like, no, let's see how far you go with this shit.
I'm aware. I'm very aware. But my thing is, and like I said, I agree with you 100%. I don't think he's the best player. I definitely don't think that, but he coming. I
Mm-hmm.
look at his age. I look at the fact that he's 27. I look at all that he's accomplished. Yeah, he might not be the best player yet, but he coming.
Well, he
He
definitely is
right on
coming.
his tail, man. He right
He's
on both of
definitely
their tail.
coming.
Because I put KD in that category too. KD's right there. It's just a matter of the only reason we ain't even talking about KD more as being the best player. He ain't played the last year and a half, 2 years. I mean, he
Mm-hmm.
came back. He looked like he let us all know. Y'all might have forgot. I'm back. So, with that being said, it's kind of hard to even put Giannis over KD. Did you see what
It
KD
ain't
did
hard
against
for
them this
me.
year?
It ain't
Yeah,
hard for me. KD is clearly over Giannis to me.
yeah,
But
I
go
agree.
ahead.
I agree. No, I'm just saying that's what I'm saying. It's hard to put Giannis over KD.
Yeah.
You really can't do it. I mean, and KD clearly showed us if you didn't think he was that dude, he clearly showed in that first round matchup against Milwaukee that he's that dude. He was a toe on the line away from taking the
True.
boys out.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
mean that the reality of it is with what he had, and we know what KD had. He ain't have much. You would probably say his
Yeah, he
second
ain't
best
had
player
shit.
was Joe Harris. You would probably say that was his second
Yeah.
best player. So,
You know,
and he almost
after
took them
game
down.
what 1 or 2 when he lost Kyrie, he ain't had nothing. You can't.
So
I don't even count James Harden. James Harden was a
no, he
shell of
was no,
himself.
no.
He
Like I
was
say,
just. It was a decoy.
Joe Harris was the second best player. So with that being said, he still almost took him down. So I cannot put Giannis over KD after that performance I saw in the playoffs in the first
Yeah.
round.
Yeah. But it was a good season. Very interesting. I liked it. I even though things didn't go the way anybody thought they was gonna go, I'm kind of glad we had some change in how things look in the playoffs. Kind of like football. Every year you got teams coming out of nowhere. You got a lot of times you have different champions. Even though Tom Brady won, he's on a different team. A lot of so that, and you don't have that too much of basketball.
Right.
Usually it's who's gonna be at the very end, and it was totally different. So I think that was good for the sport, and I enjoyed following the games and checking
Yeah, it
things
was
out.
one of the higher
So
viewed finals. So people
yeah,
definitely want to change. So
Yeah.
It was a good thing. It was good to see other teams in it besides the teams that we always expect. And nobody can sit there and tell me after the Nets formed, even though it was midseason, that the two teams in the finals, anybody thought they
Mm-mm.
were gonna be there. So that was a good
You,
thing for
you
me.
you probably would have had a decent amount of people thinking that the Bucks would be there simply because we already knew they were a really good team, one of the best teams in the East. But
Right.
not a damn person knew the Suns was gonna be there.
Right.
Nobody.
Not
Like
one.
like I said, if somebody put money down on that, they cashed out. If they
Right.
put money down on them odds, they definitely cashed out. But I want to touch on the Olympics. Not really much to really touch on. We just want to say enjoy the Olympics, watch the Olympics, support the United States of America. We always one of the front runners in the gold medal winnings. But I'm a little worried about this basketball team. I ain't gonna lie. I don't want to talk too long about it. I know those was exhibition games, but that was they're not supposed to lose exhibition games. I don't know, man. What you think?
Welcome
What
back.
what just happened?
I have no clue, but you froze up and went away.
So for all y'all listening, this is funny. I'm still recording. My screen like completely went away and came back on its own. And now, Lonnie, you doubled up. You like you it's an echo. Say something again.
What you want me to say?
That's fine.
That was good.
But still it's an echo. I don't quite understand where it's coming from, but it's an echo. I thought maybe I had two videos running, but I don't.
That's kind of weird. Yeah, your screen completely. You froze, and then it went away. I was the host. It said you're now the host, and then like 2 seconds later, you pop back on the screen, and your
Yeah,
volume was off.
I had a Zoom malfunction. That's what that was because the internet working fine. It just Zoom went away and came back on its own. I didn't do nothing. It just like flashed off the screen and came back. Okay, I know y'all don't want to hear that, but I was gonna say Olympics. Go watch the Olympics. Support the U.S. Hope the basketball team don't have no downfalls. I know they had a lot of people, so a couple people already have to leave for COVID or whatever, but I still feel like they can get the job done. You got anybody holding the L
Bro,
before we leave, man?
hold on, bro. Hold on, bro. I gotta say this because I think it's a freaking travesty. Um, I was reading something this morning about Simone Biles,
Hmm.
and I don't know the specifics as far as the rules. Do you know they've changed the rules? And they said certain moves she does, they're not gonna count them
Because she's the only
because
one that can do them.
yes, and she is so cold that they don't want her intimidating the other girls, or they don't want the other girls trying to do those moves to keep up with her because they're so dangerous and just are impossible to do by anybody else. Where in the world do you get penalized for being too good? Well, obviously in the World Olympics, but how do you get penalized? That's the world we living in today. And I just want to kind of put that out there. It's not okay to just get trophies for losing. So we're going to penalize the best gymnast in the world for being the best gymnast in the world.
You know, I wasn't gonna go there with it, but to be completely honest, I'm not participating in the Olympics this year. I'm not watching anything. I mean, of course, it's a boycott, but it's not like something I'm advertising. But for that reason, that right there, what you just said, and other things that has happened leading up to the Olympics, which I'm not about to go into.
Yeah, we know. We know what you're
Yeah,
talking about. But
exactly. So
I just had to put that out there. That is just absurd to me that
it is.
you get penalized for being too good.
Mm-hmm.
I've just never heard of that as an athlete that actually has played sports and participated in organized sports to know that if I was too good, I would get punished for it.
Yep, that's the world we living in.
Mediocre is okay, I guess. But hey, that's who I want. That's my L. That's why I went ahead. I had to. That's my L. The freaking Olympics committee, whoever decided that I'm gonna penalize good performance.
I
Now,
mean,
and I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But hey, we gonna leave it at that because this is the end of the show. It's supposed to be ended on a good note. So yeah, the Olympics and Michael Rappaport. are gonna hold my L's. Mike, I ain't forgot about you. You're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. But yeah, those are my L's for the week.
Yeah, and that's a good enough L to hold for both of us because it's a travesty, it's ridiculous, it's a shame, and hopefully they make some changes in the future. I thoroughly believe that has nothing to do with it's okay for them to be mediocre. It has more to do with who she is, and that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not even gonna get into the other parts of it because that's not what type of show this is. But you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Anyways, that's all we got for y'all. Thank y'all for another season. We'll be back in the start football season. Um, just stay posted. Stay posted. We don't have the exact date, but we're gonna be back before the season starts. So this is Hold This L. I'm Cappel.
And I'm Lonnie.
And we out.
Peace.